And through Cheer of the Bloody Point, so we have patch notes. The 0.62 patch notes have been posted. It's a preview. And as expected, we have the Scipi nerf or balance. And let's take a look at that. So there are some UI UX changes, which you can see here. The one I really like is in regards to the AI matches, where you can now determine who goes first. This is really great for those of us who do a lot of testing, especially with the double mulligan. You really want to be able to test both sides of the turn queue, so that is great. Other news for people who use different size displays, scaling has been added. This is really important for people who are using big displays, so that is great news as well. Also, an attempt to reduce the number of bots. Those of you who play actively will be aware that on day one of a season, the ladder is just flooded with bots, which not only is unpleasant, but it inflates the win rate for certain people who get to play early, and this should hopefully help address that a little bit. So card changes. They've indicated that this is going to be a patch which aims to improve Augencore, and there are quite a few card changes. First one, you can see here, Foundry Technician. They're giving it one less attack and one more health, with the goal being that it is more survivable and less prone to Gunslinger. I do not run this card, but for those that do, this will be good news. Grawl is seeing a change as well, which when the card is destroyed, it now has the aftermath of putting the top card of your deck into your bank. I don't run this card, and this change would make me not run it if I did, simply because I wouldn't want to lose the top card of my deck if I didn't know what it was. So there are certain circumstances where that could be good, but it seems almost as a negative, and I wouldn't touch it. Next up, Ishkur, we have a change where on muster it will create a 1/1 nanobot. This is good. It's just a positive, and it supports the playstyle of the deck that it usually appears in. Now a change to the swarm aspect of the Arak Paragon's muster. Now you can choose to destroy it to generate 2 nanobots, as opposed to it happening on Aftermath. So this puts the control in your hands versus having to rely on interacting with the player. That's a good change. Then Triumph of Iron, another card I don't run. This now will generate 2 nanobots when you play the card, in addition to its older abilities. Excuse me. This it's a good change. I don't know if it's quite enough to bring it in line with the other Triumph cards, but it's a start. Now, Repeater Cannon is something I run in one of my decks, and the armed ability, this is actually kind of a crazy change. It's really, really strong. They did reduce the cost as well, so I have a 1-turn kill deck which uses this, and it was already good, and now it just became crazy. So yeah, we'll be playing with that one. Voxtex Jammer is an Aftermath card which allowed you to conceal a card. Now it will also reveal a card. This is an odd one because it kind of removes value from the Scanner Probe. I forget, no, it's not Scanner Probe. I forget what it's called. Scanner Array, perhaps. It's a similar zero-cost upgrade which allows you to reveal enemy cards. Okay, so it's reveal or conceal a friendly bank card. Okay, so that's fine. So this just gives it more diversity. Revealing is interesting because this would allow you to do, it's essentially a charge. So you can charge, and in the case of Ambush Clause or Nanobot Forger, when you reveal the card, it gets played. So this gives you more opportunities to do that without having to use the charge on a unit that had it natively. So that's good. Okay, into the Cathari changes. Killbox has been adjusted as expected to cost 1 more. This will help a little bit. I don't think it kills the card at all. It just requires people to play it a little later, and there are many ways to do that. You're looking at a scenario generally with Killbox where they're overkilling you. It's not like you have 30 health and they're doing 30 damage. They're doing 38 or 40 or whatever the case would be. So that this is really probably not going to be the end of the world. You'll lose a few units, but I think it'll be fine. The change to high density genetic replicator, the 2-cost relic, it's going to be a progressive cost now. So the first time you have one in the field, it'll cost 2, and each additional one will cost 1 more. It is a significant change for sure. I'm not sure it's lethal to the meta, but I suppose it depends on what the list looks like. So the list may have to change a little bit to account for this, but I think it'll still see some play. The big question is is this the end of the Scipi reign in the meta? Maybe. It's hard to say. The thing is, what'll probably happen is your average player who's been running this as a crutch. I see a lot of people posting that they're in Master now who would never have been there otherwise. Some of those people will probably have issues, but the top tier players who are using this will find a way around these minor balance changes. That's my opinion. And lastly, no snitching has been modified so that it no longer works on Paragons. I can see this as a reasonable change. I do use this on Paragons quite often, Brand especially, for example. But it is a bit strong, and if your deck relies on the Paragon, this is pretty bad, especially considering you can run 3 of these. So this is a reasonable change. We saw some use of it in the recent tournament where you can snitch your own cards. There's many ways to do this. You can snitch a steward, a steward to prevent someone from getting the card back, and there's all kinds of different things, and we saw it being used on Kathy as mentioned here, so that you basically make Kathy's attack non-random. So that's cool. The non-randomness and randomness dynamics in the game have seen a lot of manifestation lately with the weighted die play, so this is cool. And lastly, bug fixes. Hopefully these will include the many Scipi related bug fixes. Those will be announced or released with the actual patch, and I will cover those then as well. All right, guys, just some news from the patch notes. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.